Hello, I'm Bill Carrico with the Virginia State Police Association, the Executive Director, and I'm wanting to introduce to you a new method in which we're going to try to relay information to our members, and we're going to try to do this by video conference as we do the session this year. I know that it can be daunting to try to read all this information. So we're going to try to do it now by video to get the information out to you as soon as possible and to allow us to get to each of our members with the information so that they have it firsthand. And of course, David, go ahead.
Hey, Bill, thanks for having me. David Ostwinkle, VSPA General Counsel. And we're pleased to be able to present to you. Bill and I went down to the Capitol today. Governor Youngkin presented his proposed budget at the Capitol today in Richmond. And his remarks indicated that Virginia's economy is strong. He stated that they anticipate a $2.1 billion revenue surplus in 2025 and a $1.2 billion surplus in 2026.
Well, David, as you listen to the governor and to the Secretary of Finance, you could see that they're optimistic about this trend continuing as it goes through the budgetary year and into the years even after they leave. And I think our efforts this year by getting in front of the governor and talking to the governor with our president, Tim Confroy, and First Vice President Randy Beeson, to discuss what we're having to deal with retention and with recruitment was well received because of what we were seeing in the budget. As you will see in this governor's budget, of course, we're a long way from this actually being funded. We still have to go through the General Assembly and protect these amounts, but there's $3.264 million in there for salary increases with the step pay increases to support our sworn positions with the Virginia State Police, and funding to acquire a new 6th Division headquarters, which if those of you watching this video been in 6th Division's headquarters, it is in dire need of repair, and this will allow them to go out and to replace that division headquarters. And as we have spoke about many times, but yet the funding, the way it was appropriated in the last couple of budgets, was not enough to do the academy. This time they put it in the capital outlay section, which allows the state police to move forward in building a new academy, and that cost will occur over a period of time. I think the number that they shared was they did $500 million in capital outlay, which the State Police Academy will fall under that. The other thing that we dealt with last year that was unfunded mandates that were being discussed by higher education, and it was the funding that came from our line of duty deaths, spouses and children going back to get their college degrees or going to get their college degrees. And they were cutting those funds out, and we had to fight to get that back in. This year, he's included $160 million in grants to pay for those line of duty death spouses and children to be able to fund that program. And then there's a one-time $2.2 million to upgrade the VCN and 12 new positions in 2026 for I-66 and the I-95 expressway. I think in our conversations, there were some things that we would have liked to have, especially our conversations about healthcare. We talked about healthcare with him and how do we tackle that? Do we tackle it through an increase in our multiplier? Do we tackle it with an increase in our hazard duty pay? We need to find a way to do this, which didn't make it in this budget, but it made the conversation. It's got the conversation going, and we've been having those conversations with legislators, and hopefully, that will come to fruition soon. And, we're going to continue to work. They think there's an avenue through the comptroller's office for a navigator through workers' comp, but our association is going to work on areas that we can improve that. So I'll let you take it over from here.
Bill, those are really excellent budget proposals to include the funding for the pay plan and the new 6th Division headquarters and the academy. Most importantly, I mean, 6th Division headquarters is much needed, but so is the academy. And so I'm pleased to see that our hard work has like you said, come to fruition. And we've seen this in the governor's budget proposals. There were some other proposed increases to the 2026 VSP budget. Those included $5 million to come in line with the federal appropriations and how they've increased in amount. $750,000 for the electronic summons system. $2.5 million for revenues related to services provided to outside entities such as security, work zones, and extraditions, and $885,000 for increases to the Sex Offender Registry Fund. There were some other notable budget amendments included. Those included $322,000 an increase in funding for the Office of First Responder Wellness. That's handled under DCJS. And as many of you are aware, that has become a top issue for VSP, and it shows in the governor's budget. There were other non-VSP related notable budget amendments, which included cost of living reductions. So those specifically included a car tax relief. This is what you may see and hear a lot of chatter about in the news and related to the governor's proposals. The car tax relief consisted of this. If you're single and you make less than $50,000 a year, there would be $150 tax relief. And for those in two-person households making up to $100,000, the tax relief would be up to $300. The governor did note that he hopes to completely eliminate the car tax going forward in the future. But Bill, as you know, in your time in the General Assembly, that's maybe a far-fetched idea.
Yeah, so this conversation has been going on since I've been there to eliminate completely the car tax, but that is such a hole that's blown in the budget. As you can see when we were there and they were talking about this initiative alone is $1.1 billion they have to set aside. Mm-hmm. So if you eliminate it completely, you're looking at probably $10 billion that you've got to make up in some form of revenue to fully eliminate that. And that's what makes this, elimination of a car tax so daunting for legislators and for the governor when he comes in, because there's other priorities. I mean, core functions of government have to be funded. And when those core functions of government are funded, then they're funded by the increases that come in each year. And, we are seeing record increases, which I think gives him the opportunity to do that. But it is a very big ask to say we're going to fully eliminate that, even though it was promised under the Gilmore administration. Sure. When I first got elected. It was just such a big chunk of money that you had to, take away from the budget in order to do it.
Right.
So I think, overall, we did very well as far as our initial goals, our start. This General Assembly will start talking with legislators, see what their ideas are that they can better improve how this governor's budget was introduced. And I think it'll give us an opportunity to stand before them and support what the governor's done and try to build upon that as we go forward.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Dave. And this is a lot of information to digest. We're just giving you the highlights over the period of the next few weeks. We'll be going through this budget, looking to see if there was anything that we may have missed, any corrections that we need to make from the initial numbers that were given to us. But we're just right now back from the governor's presentation, which you'll see probably in highlights on the news tonight and everywhere in the media tomorrow. But these are the things that we wanted to relay to all of our members about how this budget will affect you and how we'll be working on this budget moving forward.